They talking, we giving them something to talk about. Every time we step in the room, they pointing and running their mouths. Like, alright, comment, subscribe, yeah, you know what we about. If you rockin' with us, go on and hit that cash up now. Something to talk about, something to talk about, something to talk about, yeah, we giving them something to talk about. I walk in smooth, they stare like who that? Whole squad lit, whole vibe too fast. Talk behind screens, but never gonna do that. Say it with your chest, little buddy, better prove that. Nessa's on top of the algorithm climbing. Watch me hit the beat like perfect timing. Views go up and the numbers keep rising. Comments go crazy, every word electrifying. I ain't stressing no rumors, no lies. They talk cause they broke, they watch cause we rise. They stay in the dark while we stay in the light. And we shine so bright that it hurts their eyes, yeah. We the topic, we the motion, we the wave in the drought. If they talking about something, best believe it's us. They talking about. They talking, we giving them something to talk about. Every time we step in the room, they pointing and running their mouths. Like, comment, subscribe, yeah, you know what we about. If you rockin' with us, go on and hit that cash up now. Ay, something to talk about, something to talk about, something to talk about, yeah, we giving them something to talk about. RLM in the game, no brakes, full throttle. Dripping too clean like I jumped out the bottle. Team stay strong in the hustle, full model. Talking that talk, we gon' make them all swallow. I'm the one they watch, I'm the one they quote. I'm the storyline every time they promote. I'm the name they whisper when they passing a note. I'm the reason that the whole damn channel, the flow stay true. No faking, no capping. Numbers going up cause the squad stay tapping. They say we laugh too much, shine too hard, stand too close, baby, that's just our charm. We the wave, we the spark, we the fire in the booth. Everything they say about us, yeah, most of it true. So go ahead and keep talking, we ain't losing no sleep. We the ones that make noise, they the ones that just tweet. They the ones that just tweet, yeah, yeah. They talking, we giving them something to talk about. Every time we step in the room, they pointing and running their mouths. Like, comment, subscribe, yeah, you know what we about. If you rockin' with us, go on and hit that cash up now. Something to talk about, something to talk about, something to talk about, yeah, we giving them something to talk about. Let them gossip, let them type, let them whisper, let them pout. Every time they bring our names up, they doing exactly what we bout. Views up, subs up, yeah, the movement never stopping. We the topic of the week, whole timeline still watching. So thank you for the love and thank you for the doubt. Either way it go, you help us out. Like, comment, subscribe, it's never optional. Hit that cash up, let's make it unstoppable. Yeah, something to talk about, cover image roll.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Let me know if this signal good. If anything happened, you just immediately let me know, and I'll switch to this hotspot. And if you could,
I'm not play your song. You want to play your song?
Nah, we getting right into it. Yeah. Play my song, man. A lot of effort was done with that. I appreciate that, Sky. You got your cash? Yeah, yours is always running through.
Man, I got out the street, I got out the mud. I put on for my fam, I do this for my blood. My partner just called me and that's what you want. I said tune in to Dave's Detour on Hulu. Hey, got out the streets, got out the mud. I put on for my fam, I do this for my blood. My partner just called me and that's what you want. I said tune in to Dave's Detour on Hulu. Ain't no child support up in the alimony. And my old lady know I'm a one and only. Yeah, if you ever need me, know you can call me. Yeah, I stay solid and I never fall. Got the keys to the city and the keys to the streets. Got the keys to the grill, got the keys to the Jeep. And I keep it too real, baby, you gotta see. Ay, it's my favorite time of the week. I got out the streets, ay, I got out the mud. I put on for my fam, I do this for my blood. My partner just called me and that what you want. I said tune in the Days Detour on Hulu. Ay, ay. Got out the streets, ay, got out the mud. I put on for my fam, I do this for my blood. My partner just called me and that what you want. I said tune in the Days Detour on Hulu. I got out the streets. Ain't got out the streets, ayy. Ain't got out the streets, ain't got out the streets, ayy. Ain't got out the streets, ain't got out the streets, ayy. Ain't got out the streets, ain't got out the streets, ayy. Ain't got out the streets, 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 ain't got out the streets,
All right. Sky, the only thing I need from you is go to Google, just type in world map and put it as big as you can, because we're about to go around the world so we can give you understanding of what's actually going on in the news. I know we don't talk a lot about it. I won't get into the reasons, but first, can we get a round of applause and a thank you for the ladies who put their show on before us. There was a lot of things said. We're going to catch up on that later in the show. And I'll open up the panel. We'll chill out and we'll decipher some of the things that were said, and then, some of the things on the ground in reality. But first and foremost, I don't know if he's here. I guess I'm going to start it off. So there's a lot of things that's happening in the news today. One of the most recent things, of course, is you got that Hong Kong building fire. You know what I mean? I guess a lot of people got trapped in a big ass building, and there was a fire. Condolences to them. I think Philippines or Thailand, they got hit with a big old huge not a tsunami, but what is that thing called? Like a typhoon. One of them two over there. What other skirmishes didn't happen? Of course, we blowing up people on the ocean over there in Venezuela. Rest in peace to them. It's kind of extrajudicial, but we'll stay out of that. We got to get them kids back from Nigeria.
Dave, did you want me to bring up the map?
Yeah, just the map. That's all we needed. We're gonna go around the world. 300 kids got taken over there in Nigeria from one of them villages. You know what I'm saying? That's horrible. So we're gonna try to get them back, Nigeria. What's going over there in Europe? All right, yeah. Pull up the the world map. I guess we're gonna start in Asia because that's really where the hot spot's at right now. And I'm gonna tie this in. I'm gonna try to tie this into what we usually talk about. So all the way over there to the right, the little yellow country, Japan. That's right below Russia, right next to big old China, and the Koreas and everything like that. So last week or whatever, no, probably like 5 days ago, Japan with their new prime minister, the lady, I forget her name. She's from the conservative wing. She basically said, like, look, yo, if somebody run up on Taiwan, I can't see it. Zoom in on the do Google Maps. You know how they do Google Earth? That's what it is. Google Earth. Earth, not Earth. But yeah, I'm gonna keep talking so that once it's there. So the prime minister of Japan basically said, like, yo, we're gonna run up on if you run up on anybody, run up on Taiwan, we're running up on you, basically. And that caused a lot of saber rattlings between China and Japan. And it keeps escalating. Somebody's trying to pull the brakes off. I'm gonna give you a quick synopsis once he pushes it up, but a quick history. Before Japan ran up on America, they already ran up on old Manchuria, but modern day China. You know what I mean? Did a lot of different things, and nobody in China's forgotten about that. So they've always had a tense relationship between China and Japan. And so, as we said that, flip it on over to, yep, you already know what you want. We're going to talk a little on that Bering Strait thing, too. We can get some time on it, too. Yeah. Keep it going. Yeah. There you go. Zoom in. Just Just get on over to Japan. Yeah, get on over. Now zoom over a little bit to the right so that you can see Japan. All right, here we go. And I'm gonna zoom a little bit further out so that we know, you know what I mean, just on a wider map. This is just the geopolitics of it. The geo is the earth and what people own, right? So you see Shanghai over there, you know what I mean? South Korea, North Korea, Japan. Now I'm tying this in because we like to tell everybody, stop being so emotional. You're supposed to be able to talk shit to people, and you're supposed to be, what is that word? You know, them Machiavelli shits they be talking about, stoic. You're supposed to be so stoic that you ain't supposed to say nothing, right? But in reality, this is the real world situation. Japan done said some shit, and China said, hell no, dog. Keep my name out your mouth. And it's serious. Words matter. So we may try to tell people it's emotional shit here in America, but the world ain't playing no games. So they done frozen. A lot of travel warnings have been issued, which means a ton of flights have been canceled. You already had a small disinvestment. But the big thing here is this. There's two big things out of this whole situation. One, the biggest trading partner Japan has is China. But also two, it's sovereignty. So when Japan lost, we really became their military umbrella. They have what they call a pacifist constitution. They can only have what they call self-defense forces in their constitution. So they can't have offensive aircraft carriers. Like, what the hell you need a blue water aircraft carrier that can go around the world? Like, we ain't on shit like that, right? So they stretch it as far as they can to get whatever they can arm themselves with without having to revisit this pacifist constitution. The most recent element of it is they took, I don't know if any military guys here, I'm definitely not military, but I used to love airplanes, and I wanted to be an Air Force pilot, but you know, it's certain reasons why I couldn't. But landing helicopter dock is what they call, like when you got Marines, it's like an aircraft carrier for storming the beach. So you got a place where you can big boats for Marines to go storm a beach, but you also got like a mini aircraft carrier deck up top. What Japan did, their class of LASD was called the Izumo. They transformed their Izumo to make their deck a little bit wider so that it can fit our F-35B, because we got multiple different F-35s, the Air Force version, Navy version, and the vertical takeoff. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, if you can, you'll take off this way, but you'll land vertically. And so they just bought a whole bunch of F-35s. And we're going to have a talk about these globally, what these F-35s did and what just happened with Saudi Arabia. But sticking on this. So now, is it really an aircraft carrier, or is it really a helicopter thing? Me, it's looking like an aircraft carrier, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They got their armaments and everything like that. But they under our umbrella as far as if anything happens to Japan, we got to go fight for Japan no matter what, right? And I'm telling you this history. And right now, due to, and I'm trying to stick away from, because I know y'all all Trumpers, so I'm trying to just get this straight down the middle. Due to our political stance, you know, about one, we have an umbrella with Japan. We got, you know, a semi-quasi umbrella with Taiwan. We kind of like hold the linchpin. They don't have the offensive capabilities to like just do shit on their own. So everybody thinks, like, everybody basically looks at it and says, all right, what's happening, what Japan said was the US pulling away and not saying it directly, and us using a proxy to say this shit. You know what I mean? Like, of course, China's mad with Japan and shit's heating up. But a lot of the insiders are saying, all right, let's get real here. There's like so many damn bases. We got all our shits over there. You know what I'm saying? And they looked at it and said, if you took America away, what are the Japanese offensive capabilities? Is it plausible that they set this all on their own and saying, yo, we're going to do this all on our own? Or is this a way of the United States saying this without getting ourselves fully involved in that theater. Because if we had said it, it wouldn't just be right now they're moving missiles and shit around. You know what I'm saying? It's not like how China tries to encircle Taiwan. So now we can scroll over. If you just give me Scott, if you could just scroll over a little bit so we can see Taiwan, which is sitting real close to Shanghai, right at a little bit below. So China right there. That little island right there, Taiwan, right? China been encircling that all the time, right? But it's not like they going over to Japan and doing the same things. Had we said some shit like that, what Japan just said to China, shit would be, it would be front page. We couldn't avoid it. We couldn't, the average American couldn't avoid hearing that shit. But since it's a proxy thing, this is just my opinion. Hopefully it'll die down, but shit has amped up. South Korea, they really haven't said anything. The most recent thing that came out of South Korea, and it was real quick, was there was like a coup. There was like somebody tried to do a coup in South Korea, which is kind of unheard of. Imagine the Congress tried to oust the president. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's kind of what happened over there. Was quickly, you know, done for, and they quickly the term was about to end anyway, so they just said, you know what, for stability's sake, and after dude got out, they locked him up and all of that. But South Korea has to be on edge with what's going on. All right. So that's the situation right now. This is the first time, so I don't want to get too far into a ton of stuff going on over there, but that's the hot button. I wouldn't suggest talking about it like that if you're at the dinner table on some banquet or some function shit. The only thing I would actually mention, it's hard to even mention China in the holidays. You need to be talking about maybe some Temu shit, or, you know, what do you think about EVs? You know, something like that. You know, light Japan. You know, I wouldn't even talk about the what do you think about a woman being prime minister? Don't talk about that. Don't talk about the skirmish or dust up. The most recent thing you probably could talk about is probably some type of, hey, how's the storms going? You know what I mean? This is the last thing. Oh my God, this is the major thing. Shit's about to get real deep around the world on economics, because everybody depended on Japan to borrow money from. Japan, for about the past 20 years, have had zero interest rates, or sometimes even negative interest rates. Can you imagine that? If I give you $1, I'm borrowing from you, and if I give you $1, you got to give me one shit. I'm borrowing from you, and I have to pay you less than, if I borrowed 100,000 in Japanese yen, the way negative interest rates work, at the end of the day, I may have to just pay you $98. That's the value of the loan. But that shit all broke, or mostly broke. And everybody has to unwind around the world. That's why you were seeing a lot of fluctuation this week in the markets and everything like that. A lot of people would basically borrow in yen, quick foreign exchange, and invest wherever in the world. Japan actually did that. You know what I mean? After they won with the cars and the Toyotas and shit, and damn near bought out America and all of that, and they had to fall back when they had that crash and everything like that. Most of Japan, they use their investments. They invest around the world and use those dividends and cash flows to keep their stuff up. But very recently, to hold their exchange rate value on their yen, it may be like 150 right now, something like that. But they were under heavy pressure for the last 2 years. I watched that shit, man. They had to fight. They do stimulus and everything like that. But the net effect is that they're no longer at zero interest rates. They've pushed up to 1%, and they're probably going to go up. What this means is everybody who was borrowing in yen, thinking they didn't have to owe anything on interest, guess what? That is over with, which has global effects. Now people can't fund. People used to just borrow there and then just go invest everywhere else. Now there's no borrowing center. I'm going to kind of kick that in. The U.S. might be facing something similar to that. We're done with Asia. Let's go over to India, because we only got like 12 minutes before we bring this in. So the point of this whole story is, don't let nobody tell you, goddammit, you're not supposed to let somebody know when they talking shit about you, because that ain't what's happening in the world. All right, there we go, right there. Pakistan, India. All right, here we go. Over the past, I would say, month and a half, Pakistan and India went to war. I don't want to say war. They called it a war, but it was a skirmish. So they've really been heating up a lot. India is really in tough, and I'm not even talking about, I know everything going on here in America. So what India has always done, let's get to India's past, right? India's huge history country, China, huge history country, Japanese, everything like that. The British totally fucked them over. You know what I'm saying? Robbed them, killed damn near 100 million, everything like that. And they're finally getting back on course. The more peace anybody has, I don't care, more peace anybody has, the more they're going to advance. So you have to kind of look at skirmishes and wars as a way to slow people down, because that's kind of what it does, and countries kind of do that. But now what's going on, let's get to they're nuclear armed, Pakistan nuclear armed. Pakistan was the first, and then India tested it under Clinton, and they test two different types to let them know we ain't playing no games. So India's nuclear armed. They don't really have a great navy. They're working on it due to the threats that they perceive from China, because they have a border with China somewhere along there. You see Nepal, I forget. They always into it with China too. Not into it, but you know. And the crazy thing is they're both part of BRICS, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China. Is that South Africa? But anybody who really knows is like, yo, how effective on a monetary union? Because every time, oh, they're gonna have one currency. That shit is not about to happen, because India and China always, you know, they got their differences. However, if India, China, and Russia actually weren't, you know, man, it'll be a powerhouse. That'd be tough for us. So let's not even put that shit out there in the air like that. So what recently happened was that there was an air war, and an attack. There was a terrorist attack in a part of northwest, kind of close to Pakistan, on a resort town, right? Because they already got their little skirmish over this little park called Kashmir, but it was real deal, and some way, somehow, or whatever the hell. It got to the Air Force is scrambled, and China has already armed Pakistan with their long-range air-to-air missile. India has their version of their air, I think it's Varian some shit, air-to-air missile or whatever. And Pakistan is using very older versions of a Chinese jet. The Indians were using their jet, the Tejas. Well, something happened this week too with, I'm going to mention that, and a French Rafale jet. Now, in all of these skirmishes, nobody crossed lines. Nobody went into each other's territory. So this was basically a beyond visual sight air battle. And a couple of French Rafales got knocked out. I think that's Rafale or Dassault. One of them. The French plane got knocked out. A couple of them got knocked out. Pakistan really didn't have many losses or whatever, and so they were held as Pakistan. You know, Pakistan didn't really say that much, but India's like, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and the other. So they're reassessing everything, but also they're dealing with this trade war going on with the United States. Contrary to what anybody believes, the heaviest part of the tariff war right now is going on with India. Of course, we know about the H-1Bs. The rise in, you know, anti-Indian sentiment, different things like that. And what we're trying to do is firmly pull them into our United States sphere. Right now, they still get their oil from Russia. You know, they have ties both with what we call the East and the West. I don't know why it's called that, because it's, you know, and what's going on politically is trying to get them firmly more on our side, and probably buy our damn jets. You know what I mean? F-35, we're about to get to this shit real deal. And they got a good Prime Minister, Modi. You know, I like Modi and everything like that, but this is probably the toughest time he has in his life right now. And since we have it right here, we're going to flip over to Pakistan. Now, Pakistan is a gateway, as you can see, to get right over to the Middle East. You see Oman, you see the United Arab Emirates. So what China has done is they've effectively invested all the way through Pakistan from where Nanjing, you see that little mountain area, they drilled through some shit, got a train line going through there, threw a lot of billions into saying, yo, you got these natural resources, gave them good terms so that they'll always be an ally, all this other different type of shit. But you have to understand that they are the only Muslim country with a nuclear weapon. And so when I saw certain things happen with Pakistan, especially that skirmish with India, I kind of knew like, all right, they're about to do something to Iran. Okay, see Pakistan right next to Iran. Key thing with Iran, you see how that terrain looks? All goddamn mountains. So this whole thing about a fucking invasion and all this other type, get that shit out your head. And then on top of that, I'm about to show you another reason why. All right. So Pakistan, what China's looking for is to basically say, all right, the easiest way for me to get the energy that China needs, because it's a billion fucking people, they need all this energy. The easiest way for them to get that energy is through ports, shipping it, Iran port, Pakistan, railway to China. Of course, China is linking shit up to Russia too. But Pakistan is also, as we all know from Musharraf, Khan, all them guys, we heavily invested in Pakistan too. But we also got our little tripwire to say, I'm pretty sure the United States got a way to say, yo, if shit fall apart, how do we go get them nukes or whatever? But we have a good relationship with Pakistan. So these are the geopolitical areas in which we want to win. We definitely want to win over India. And a lot of the things going on in America right now, it's not good for I hate to say it, empire, right? Same thing with Pakistan. We can scroll over a little bit. You see that water up top where it says Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, all that other type of shit? Bam, right there. All right, now you see Ukraine. Now we getting into the real shit. We're going to tie all of this shit. There you go. Perfect. All right. So there's Iran. On the other side of Iran, on the other side of that big ass sea, which is it's not the Black Sea. Dang. It's the largest sea. It's the largest lake on the planet, I think. But on the other side of that is Russia. So when we say, oh man, we're gonna go and invade Iran and all this other type of stuff, I don't think Russia is gonna be real cool with the United States sitting on the other side of that big lake, right? Also, a lot of these countries, the Azerbaijan and Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, all that other type of stuff, as you can see, they're landlocked. So they're in the process of trying to figure out ways to get from that area over to the Black Sea. Okay, and the only way out of that Black Sea to get into the Mediterranean, where you see Athens and everything like that, is through Turkey. Now, I'm going to wrap things up on this side of the world, and we'll probably get to Europe real fast. I've always said Turkey controls both of these wars, the Ukraine one and the Iran, but mostly through by proxy, it definitely be the Gaza. Because at the end of the day, what Putin has done was basically take the coastline of Ukraine and then leave them a little port. And that was because I figured that the United States armed Ukraine so much to where they had missiles where they could hit everything. So they basically, it looks like they just built the largest buffer on the world to keep missiles out of range and to get their fleets in and out. But they have to go through, I think that's Istanbul, Turkey. Yeah, and there's already a law like after World War II that says only a certain amount of tonnage can be in that canal at one time. And Russia always sits damn near the majority of that tonnage in there, so it keeps all the foreign forces out. So it's like a neutral area. However, they're building another canal because they're like, yo, we need more trade, all this other type of stuff. But at the end of the day, Russia really wants the coastline of Ukraine so that their fleets are safe, and they want free inside-out passage throughout Turkey. Same thing goes with Turkey's influence in the Middle East. Regardless of what anybody believes, Turkey is the largest military in the Middle East, period. Nobody wants Turkey to move. When I say move, wherever Turkey is right now, their interest entrenched, wherever troops are, nobody in the area, nobody in the world wants them to move anything anywhere. All right. The problem that we just faced. Now scroll down a little bit so we can get so we can see Saudi Arabia and everything like this. Because here's the linchpin. Donald J. Trump has just signed an agreement to sell Saudi Arabia the F-35. Israel already has the F-35I with all this special avionics and all that other type of stuff. For years, it's always been like, yo, Israel always has to have the military competitive advantage in the Middle East. That's like written in law, in U.S. law. And so it's been a huge dust up. How are you selling Saudi Arabia to F-35? And of course, Saudi Arabia dropping $1 trillion in America, and you're a little dust up about who's mayor of New York. All that shit is combined, right? So there's two options. I'm looking at it and saying, wait, are you turning on Israel? And then also the effect, the United States denied Turkey from having the F-35. So Turkey went ahead and started building the airframe minus the engine, because engine is very important. It's called the Khan, K-A-A-N. They started building their own version of it. And they're constantly seeking like, yo, can we get this F-35? Now, Turkey is a part of NATO. And if it wasn't for Turkey, a lot of the flights that we were doing over there to Afghanistan and Iraq, it wouldn't have happened because Turkey opened the airspace for the U.S. So the question is, keep your eye on Turkey. That's it with the Middle East. Let's keep it. Oh, last thing with the Middle East. Everybody likes to talk about everything. Now, that country right there, Egypt, that's in Africa, we always say that we have to pay Israel $11 billion, but nobody mentions the fact that we have to pay Egypt $4 billion. Oh, I have to say something about Egypt too, real quick. I'm going to wrap this up real quick. In order to keep everybody away from the Suez Canal, which is that little straight way where it says Cairo, Israel, all that other type of stuff, because there was a war. And Great Britain, this is when Britain realized that the torch was passed to the United States. They couldn't handle this shit. Everybody was in the Sinai Peninsula. Trade was all messed up with the Suez Canal until the U.S. We had to drop, I think, Marines will know that shit. Airborne somebody. Dropped them and said, everybody back up. And the way we made peace, which is how a lot of peace is made, you got to pay people to be peaceful, right? So Israel get a larger chunk, but Egypt get their money. Now, I'm going to say something good about Egypt. For years, I always said, man, dog, you know what I mean? There was black people in Egypt, everything like that. My main thing was like, y'all keep saying y'all got the pyramids. Y'all ain't tuck point shit. You know what I'm saying? How you going to look at your shit fall apart and not tuck point your shit? It's supposed to be in glory, right? Well, they just opened up their new renovation. I think it was like $13 billion, took like a decade. So kudos to Egypt for renovating the pyramids. And putting a wonderful everything on spectacle. Very good with them. But at the end of the day, that's the situation going on over there. We pay them. In Egypt, they usually buy American jets. However, due to the fact we weren't going to sell them certain type of air-to-air missiles, because, they kind of ops, not ops, but like, they worry about, their neighbor, the reason why they had to be split apart. And so they went with some Chinese stuff. So we looking at this geopolitically, shit is changing. It's all about who buying our guns and who buying our jets, right? And some people was flipping, you know what I'm saying? So we got some issues. Going over there to you might as well go right to Nigeria, go Western Africa. There's 300 kids missing. Boko Haram got them 5 days ago. 300 school kids are missing. Boko Haram got them in Nigeria, right? A lot of this shit we don't talk about, man. But me as an African American male, I know I agree with the FBA, but at some point in time, we're gonna have to understand that, who we is. Like, heavy is the crown, and we once we get this internal shit settled, we still gonna have to make amends with the rest of this diaspora. You know what I'm saying? Because if we intend to grow and be ballers like how we supposed to be in these future decades and centuries, we're gonna have to reach out and be global. You know what I'm saying? But just praying that they get them kids back. You still got Traore and all of that, Russia with the Sahel Federation and all stuff like that. Not much action that I want to talk about. A whole bunch of new elections. new presidents, nothing changed. ECOWAS is still there. You know, a lot of the France has lost a lot in this region as far as control. However, that vacuum hasn't been filled indigenously, and you have a younger population. So this is the future because their average age is like 27. You know what I'm saying? So contrary to what we hearing out here on these YouTube streets in the real world, you know, like hurry up and get this fucking beef over with, and so that we can be diplomatic and, you know, set up our embassies again. And that's all I got to say. Just scroll all the way up to Europe. There we go. All right, right there. You don't even have to zoom out. You pretty much gonna get the feel on the ground from my buddy Vanta. I like to call him Fanta, like the drink. You know what I'm saying? You'll get the feel of what's going on. You'll also get the feel of a lot of Ireland. Like I guess probably from CT channel, it's a lot of Irish girls. Oh yeah, Bill, but you know, Bill, man, you gotta learn more about Ireland, man. Bill don't be, you know, he Irish and he don't understand. I'm gonna get to it in America, but you know, different things going on now. So I don't like to talk about UK, Ireland, because there's so many people within this immediate sphere that you know, to where if you really want to know, you could just ask them. What I really want to focus on is the France and Germany, what's going on there. Germany is collapsing. It is the economic powerhouse per se, but you've had multiple union protests this summer, and it's just the economic outlook is not good. I don't want to say collapsing like, oh, fall apart, go dark, but austerity is where it is. Austerity means basically you're going to keep paying the same amount of taxes, but you're not going to get the same amount of services because we got to cover this deficit, which is what we soon will talk about in America. But we also see the same thing kind of in France, but to a lesser degree. I want to kind of focus in on France a little bit. Wait, is it France? Who did that? Oh, Germany. Oh, I think it was Germany or Belgium. Somebody did this. This is recent, right? Because all of Europe has a decision to make. Europe is in a conundrum, right? So let's get to this. To keep World War III from stop happening on the European continent. Now, I know this is crazy because you see what's going on in Ukraine, but to keep Germany and France from fighting ever again, back after the war, they formed the European Coal and Steel Commission, which basically made all their factories and all their coal industries interlinked. So if you want to go to war, how are you going to say, I'm going to war against Germany and you're France, but you're dependent on Germany to send you major inputs on coal or steel? It's not going to fucking happen. Back way and back forth. So that kind of stopped them from that was the linchpin. They built on that to the European community, followed it up with the EU, and then followed it up with the monetary union, which is the euro. So you have layers of integration going on within Europe. But from an EU standpoint, the political union, which does not include Britain because Britain left, okay? It includes, I think, Ireland is still part of the EU. Yeah, one of them is, Ireland is. But the EU has strategic decisions to make. The US was always the security guarantor of Western Europe. However, with our new president, we're pulling back from that. We're pulling back from that. And there's consequences to this. Number one, as far as a defense contractor standpoint, that turns their machinery back on because they make the Airbus. Like all companies from all across that continent form like Voltron to be able to create the Airbus, okay? They already have their own GPS. It's called Galileo. They already have their own Eurofighter. Now, granted, it's probably not the greatest shit ever, but each individual country also has their own type of fighter. So they got a Eurofighter where everybody comes together, but French has their own jets. Germany doesn't have their jets because everybody put them under lock and arms saying, look, man, you can't have no offensive shit because every time you get on the offense, you want to go to war with everybody in the world. So the only way Germany can get into a military posture is through an EU force, which Ukraine is pushing that inevitably. They want basically a 15,000 troop rapid reactionary force that can be deployed anywhere around the world within 48 hours notice. So our retreat from there, number one, of course, it saves us money, but it also forces them to get on these commitments. But there's also a blowback as far as military sales. Like, you just left us. Why we gonna keep buying your shit? We got to develop our own shit. We on our own. The one that's most capable out of everybody is France, because France always never trusted NATO, and that's why they. I think it was Charles de Gaulle. He always had a problem. He never wanted to put his troops under leadership of NATO. Like, they'll work with NATO, but they wasn't going to take certain type of shot calls from or whatever. They got one little aircraft carrier, but what they do have is they have nuclear. They're nuclear armed. I think they're the only one on the European peninsula, on the European continent, that's nuclear armed. And so that's pretty much the end of it. Now, historically, what was going on is that Western Europe always reaches out across Eastern Europe and to Russia to secure their energy resources. This war has severed that, and it's having dramatic effects on the cost of manufacturing in Western Europe. We're trying to fill in that gap with liquefied natural gas, which is like freezing some damn gas and shipping that shit, and then unfreezing this, shipping all type of shit. Somebody else can tell you that. Geotron could tell you that shit. He's an oil man. But that's about it. I don't want to talk about anything else. Let's scroll on over to America. This is what this shit about. Everybody know about Latin America. I would love for Skywalker to be the representative of everything from Mexico on down throughout South America. So I'm going to leave a lot of that out. And this is the wrap up, because in 5 minutes, we're calling everybody back up. What's going on here in America? That carry trade has been broken, so we have less investors borrowing from Japan and investing in America. We real anti-India right now, so we're losing on that shit. We started the trade war. Whether you believe it or not, China does not have a significant holding in U.S. treasuries. They've liquidated that shit over 2 years. As this shit's been heating up, they've already let it be known, like, yo, get my shit out. And when the Russia shit kicked out, one thing that did happen that Biden did with horrible, they forced the default. They basically went into other people's accounts on the international scale, stole their damn money, and disbarred them from being able to pay investors they dividends and they, for bonds and shit. So a lot of people around the world are kind of iffy about the United States as far as the reserve currency status per se. Gold ain't gonna do it. Everybody's leaning towards gold. I think it's gonna be more of an equitable basket of currencies. I've been looking around. I had that decision in my brain, and this is just something I'm also thinking, because I went through game planning. There's also something that I don't think many people or anybody's ever thought about. There's something that also will hold value. I have no idea what it is, but I'm gonna figure it out, and it has to do with women, because even at war, girls gonna want to be pretty, and there's a premium on pretty, and so it's products of some shit that people still gonna pay for, even in wartime or in calamity. You know what I mean? Like, if shit goes down, like, everybody doesn't crash at the same time. Okay, let me say it differently. Everybody won't be down and out at the same time to the same degree. So if shit goes bad in America, let's just say Brazil's good. Well, the girls in Brazil gonna want to be pretty. They're gonna still be paying premium something. So a physical goods or some shit like that, that's gonna hold store value. But now to the topic. A lot of y'all is stuck in this left-right shit. And let me explain this. I used to be left. You'll never get me to go right, because I saw the kind and the right. What I'm literally waiting for is, and I'm slowly seeing it, is people saying, the right been lying to me. I know you'll never go to the left. It just don't work like that. I want people to understand where is the damn center, because we're facing a lot of serious issues here. Number one, if we don't figure out by December, and it looks like Trump is starting to be a good politician. I don't like the dude, but he's starting to do shit that he has to do with the politician. Is actually beneficial. It looks like he's going to extend those Obamacare subsidies, because healthcare is crashing. And let me get it right to this, because I only got 2 minutes. And this is strictly for the women. Whether you want to accept this or not, there's one thing about power. Whether a person understands that they have the power or not, the people the opposition, everybody out there who knows about the power, Whether you believe you have it or not, they're going to come get it. Women probably for the past 8 years and definitely for the next 8 years, they actually determine who the next presidents are going to be in the United States. And so women are like, oh man, why do they want to take all this shit, brother? It's because you have the power. You think you don't. You may not want to exercise it. You may want to hide behind somebody, but either you're going to use it or you're going to lose it. Or you're going to lose it. And that's what you're seeing nowadays. Now, for me, I look at this whole other shit. This whole get back into the kitchen shit, traditional women like, dog, man, y'all like 40 years too late for this shit. It's like 40 years too late for all of this shit y'all talking about. And I'm gonna wrap it up here with the youth. The youth, I like to the analogy of somebody coming. Imagine sitting. You seen that Terminator 2 scene where that Terminator steps on all those goddamn skulls and then it scrolls up and everybody's shooting everywhere. There's no buildings, there's no nothing. It's just bones everywhere and shit. It's just wasteland. The youth is sitting on the wasteland while you coming up to them talking about, oh, if we just fix this and we just fix that. Everything that, with every generation, they take away what made that generation survive. So while there's no pensions, that next generation don't have no goddamn pension. We used to be able to say, oh yeah, okay, we're going to be having Social Security. Now you're prepping this next generation from no Social Security. So a lot of people is out of fucking touch. And the reason why these youth ain't listening because y'all ain't in their shoes. Y'all want to talk about hard work, all this other type of shit, this, that, and the other. You need to look through the internet and see that they like, dog, I got 3 fucking jobs and I can't eat. Like, this shit is real. And this is only part 1, so I'm going to cut it off at there. But the takeaway and point is this, especially for Black America. Y'all gotta stop this 100% provider shit. Stop it. Stop it. Everybody else is coupling up on their level and building wealth. And the reason why y'all on that shit, and now this is when my guys, I'm heating up for my guys, because I want everybody to call in now. Here we go. This is the detour. The reason why y'all on that shit is because it's a recession. I remember when shit wasn't no recession and we was in boom times. And it was, oh, when did it take over the world and everything like that? That recession hit, all of a sudden, oh shit, we got to work together. All this other type of shit. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't hate you or nothing like that. I know it's tough times, baby, but you ain't got to lie to me like that. It's a recession, baby. It's going to be back. You're going to want to be free again. All right? You ain't got to lie to me like this.